day 2, part 2. Just reminding you, if you haven't watched any of the other videos in this series, please stop right now, and in the description box below I will make sure to put the first video for you to watch. Sorry if this message is annoying for people who are watching them all in a row. I apologize, but I really want them to be done in order. So thank you so much and enjoy. Sorry about that. Collected myself a little bit. Well, that was just the morning, wasn't it? Things were getting grim. We had no food. We had no food. And a lot was needed. Well, we got rid of the refugees by the gates when all this was, after all this, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to keep track. And then what ended up happening was these folks from the hill, they have really bad mutations. Like, their skin is just rotting off. They've just gone mad from all the poisons and toxins out in the wastes. And a group of them broke in. And our Danny Mae, she was Widget's assistant. She's 19 years old. Handy. She could fix stuff and build stuff. And she still had that spark of life. She had all these pretty stickers she found. God knows where she found them. She brought sunshine. And one of those crazy hill folk, they killed her. Doc tried. Doc from the militia, he's a good man. He's a really good man. And there's nothing he could do. Absolutely nothing he could do. So we brought her body back. And started a memorial wall, I reckon, in our camp. Have a few things of theirs around. She had this wrench that she carried on her everywhere. I reckon I'll start carrying it. I just want to remember that there is that innocence and that sort of beauty in there. It's still out there. We have to find it, and we have to hold on to it. So after losing Mama and Danny Mae, we had to have a meeting with the different heads of the factions. Now, they invited me, and I haven't paid my fees. I'm not on the council yet. Mama's just died. But they didn't invite Viper from the mutants, so I found that real interesting. Now, I sent Ivan and Frank out to the waste. We need food, and a lot of times they come back with all sorts of goodies. But here they're looking for food and a few other bits and bobs. Something for the water purifier, something for... Gods, I can't even remember. It seems so important at the time. I'm sure it is. I don't even know what they brought back. Anyway, they're out in the waste, and I was having a meeting with everybody. Now, I had talked to Uncle Boss about his threats, and I went to go see the mayor. Before the meeting, I went to go see the mayor because I had to know, militia had to pay 100 bullets to become part of the council, and I needed to keep the Junkers as part of the council. I've been saving some bullets. Widget's been saving some bullets. Everybody's kind of been doing the thing, and the mayor's assistant comes out, and here comes our mutant friends with a couple cases. Now, these cases were meant to be closed, and they're addressed to the mayor. Now, they had been opened, so we knew what was in them. That information got shared with me. I don't know exactly if it was everything that was meant to be in there that was shared with me, but there was some toxic looking stuff in there, and a flag, and I don't know, some other little bits and bobs. Can't remember right now. It's been a very long day. You'll have to forgive me. Anyway, I went to go see what it would take to be on the council, and she didn't really care. She just dismissed us. She just wanted the packages. She wasn't happy they were open. And I don't know if that was our payment for being on the council, but I said I had nothing to do with it because I didn't, and I wasn't going to take credit for delivering goods I ain't never seen, especially if they'd been tampered with. So she said she'd get back to us about what it will cost. And then I headed to that meeting. Sorry, such a jumble. So I head to the meeting, and Viper's not there, but the folk from the Outsiders are. That leader, which I thought was a little odd, but that's okay. He's a good man. Someone I consider an ally. So we were talking about what our options are. And what this America 2.0 had to offer for us. Now, if they deliver, we get emergency food, we get some supplies, we get basically everything we need. Otherwise, we wait a week and everyone's dead. Now, I had my folks out in the waste hoping to find enough food to get us through at least the next couple days, but who knows? That smarmy man from the restaurant was there, and I do not care for that man. I don't think anyone does, but that's another story. Anyway, we're talking about the mayor, and I said I hadn't paid, and what are we getting? And they're really upset because, you know, we had a little bit of a internal struggle about 10 months ago, and these big court guards came in like there was no tomorrow, harassing folk. Hurt Frank. I wasn't around, and I think they broke his arm. It was just, yeah, anyway. But where were they now? Here are these Steel Legion, here's everything else. We're starving to death. Where's the mayor? Where are our bullets going? What can we do? So then we talked about going in and having done with the mayor, being our own town, and what we would do. We'd have a council, and every faction would have one person on that council. And we'd run it together, and everybody have an equal say. Now, I pointed out a few things. I said, well, you say that, but there's no mutant here. What is your plan with that? Because I reckon they're a really strong ally. And I know they can do scary stuff. And they creep me out. You think I like staring at a guy with a freaking eyeball on his head, thinking he can get into my mind, which he could? That's not nice. That doesn't make me feel all comfortable. But there's a reason. Now, I was saying if they're willing to put out there what their powers are, if we can incorporate them and have them on our side. And they said, well, there was worry because some folk got mind controlled a while back and bad stuff happened. And look, I said, we treat them like any other citizen of the town. If they do something like that, they're held accountable. Their folk hand them over, they get a trial, and justice is served. If they agree to that, what do you think? They were pretty keen. Now, the dean said that he might be able to create a lot of amazing things with their genetics. And if they were willing to come and help, might be able to get better medicines and better all sorts of stuff. The sky seemed like the limit. And I said, there's another problem. I turned to Uncle Boss and I said, this is my problem, darling, is you can't go eating people inside. Now, I'd gotten him to agree earlier in the day to not just kill any mutant on sight, which is what the call was for any pit fiends at that point. If they saw one alone, they're allowed to kill him. And he said earlier that he would raise that until we could negotiate better. So luckily I was able to pass that on to the mutants, trying to build a little bit of that trust. And I said, look, that's got to be, you can't go killing citizens of the town. I know that. And he goes, look, we is what we is. But maybe what we is has got to change. And I said, it does. Like, you can't. I understand if there's some raiders that come through and we kill them, we might be able to turn a blind eye at that. But once upon a time, the pit fiends used to have these blood sports, like a fighting pit. Now, they have ways where they just get down to next to nothing, but they still survive. Now, sometimes people die in the fighting pits, that's fair, but they used to make lots of money off gambling and all that other sort of stuff, and I don't know when it deteriorated into killing people and eating folk, but I reckon they're getting quite sick just eating people. That ain't good, not mentally, not physically, and it's affecting them. So he agreed. He said, look, not all his folk are going to like it, and he reckons he's signing his death warrant, but it has to happen. The fiends cannot continue on the way they are. So he said they'll be more civilized, not eat folk in town, start the fighting pits back up, get some gambling going, some entertainment. I reckon everyone needs that in this town. We don't have anything positive anymore. So it's and I just, inside, I had a little smile, because this was my plan. I've been working on it for a long time. I got the militia to say they would live side by side with the mutants. Now, they hated the mutants. They'd kill them, torture them, all sorts of bad stuff. And so, for them to all agree, just for a few moments, I was happy. They all agreed to be good neighbors with each other. And we could move forward and stop tearing ourselves apart. That's the problem. Having all those factions against each other, we're just tearing each other apart. And then some folk come back from the waste. Now, Ivan was my second in command after Mama died. Things did not go well in the wastes. They went out and did not get any food, so Ivan's group went back out again. And he didn't make it back. And neither did Larry. Now, Larry had a good heart. And Ivan, well, he had his temper. He was so much of a junker. He was there for everybody. He brought back so much to keep us alive. He was that pillar when everything went pear-shaped. I would look for Ivan. And I don't have him to look to anymore. Look, I can't keep crying. So, and there I am with all the heads of the other groups, and I can't show that weakness. But I'll admit, I cried later. I cried a lot. It's a lot of loss for one day. It's a lot of loss for one day. They couldn't bring him back. They couldn't stabilize him. The raiders took his body. And I don't know what happened to Larry. I wasn't there, and I couldn't ask. I couldn't know. It was too much. I was just hoping they'd just walk back through the gates, having somehow lived, but some things just ain't possible. After that, something very odd happened. This group of religious folk come up. I reckon they were calling themselves Christians or something. Talking about the one true God. And that they could heal folk and all sorts of stuff. And they had holy water and were preaching really loud. Now our preacher was there. And he believes truly in the word of Oprah. And Crystal, I don't know if she realized what she was doing, but she turned to him and said something along the lines of those folks were saying Oprah wasn't real and besmirching the name of Oprah. And he saw red. I have never seen a preacher like that. Maybe it was lost in Mama and Ivan and Danny Mae and Larry. He took his gun and he just cocked it. Went up to the leader of them and just shot him right in the chest. And he fell, pulled his knife out and killed every single one of them. And he came back covered in the holy water because that's all the man had on him. And blood. He killed every single one of them. Now, it's not right. Doesn't sit well with me. But I'm hoping, I am really hoping that was enough. I'm hoping that's enough for him to come back and be preacher, but I might have Doc talk to him. If we ever get a chance, if we ever get time, have Doc check out his head. Because sane folk don't do stuff like that. Now, the America 2.0 guys, they said they'd come back, they let us talk and decide if we want to be part of America 2.0. And we all decided it was time to take on the mayor. Whole bunch of his staff came out, his personal guards, saying they hadn't been paid, there was no food, and they were leaving. I would have loved to talk to them and find out more. But again, Uncle Boss was there and told him to ride on off and get out the gates, and we don't need you here if you don't want to be here, and he doesn't care. That's his way. I like to talk to folks, but we're also in the middle of a really important meeting, and part of getting this deal going was having to turn a blind eye to things that I normally wouldn't, and it was hard. It was hard to just stand there and not do anything about it. Because I feel like we could have learned some really important stuff from them folks. But I just wanted everything to work out with us. So we decided now was the time to try and take out the mayor. We got together in force, and he still had some of his corp tech folk in there, but we managed to clear everything out, but he wasn't there. Now, he either left and no one saw him leave, or there's conspiracy saying that it was all just some sort of radio from elsewhere, from Corp Tech, just radioing in what needed to happen, because ain't nobody ever seen him. So, still don't know, but we took the town, and ain't no more of his here. So there'll probably be backlash, but we decided as a group to sign up with America 2.0, and maybe they can protect us and help us if more stuff comes down from doing away with all the mayor's staff. Now, the problem was folks are starting to starve, and we didn't have the rations, we didn't have anything. And I was starting to feel really ill as well. Hadn't been eating. It was boiling hot today. But I powered through, and we ended up signing and swearing to America 2.0. And I'm just hoping and praying to Oprah that that this saves us, because it's our last shot. Now, had a chat with Dr. Nathan again about the water purifier. I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record, but we need it now more than ever, because folks are starting to say that the water seems off. And we've asked that they go and test some of the water, see if it's contaminated. Because the mayor got those packages, and in those packages was some poisonous stuff. I'm really concerned that it's in the water, and we've got some plans and motions if there is something contaminated in the water to go and try and find it. Because if our water is all contaminated, America 2.0 won't want us, because we can't grow crops with contaminated water. So apparently the water purifier is ready, and I'm a little upset that nobody came and told me, because it's meant to be our water purifier, and I still stand by the fact that it should be in with us and that it's safer with us. But he is just having none of it, saying they need the power supply that they've got and some other stuff, but whatever. After that, we had a blessing. And now this is the only thing that's keeping me going and keeping me from going crazy. We had Happy Jack. Now, he was lost in the waste at least 12 months ago, and we all thought he was dead. Now, he ain't the smartest. He's almost kind of like a puppy. You just have to look at him straight in the eye and go, Jack, this is what you need to do. And he came back in, and he picked up a couple friends. One, this guy Jay, he has like that special skin with all the metal on it, and he's still getting used to it. And I shouldn't laugh, but it's pretty funny him trying to figure out how to work his own skin again. Just even trying to grab onto something, and just, yeah. It's the little things. And he found a little girl named Pia, but she is broken. She is not okay. So hopefully, being in with us, she'll start recovering and get stronger and better every day. If Jack says there's something in her that's junker, then I'm gonna believe him. So that was our small blessing. Small blessing. But yeah, folks are starting to starve. There ain't enough food to go around. Even with the little bit of help they could give us immediately. There's that. The Nighthawks have taken over Garden Gates. That's good. Hopefully less folk just breaking through. So that hopefully will get us through the night. Because tomorrow we have Steel Legion coming. And we got to figure out what we're going to do. So, working out some plans to plant some explosives outside. The America 2.0 guy said they'll fight with us. Talk about electrifying the fence. I don't know quite. Seems like a very faculty sort of thing. Faculty sort of answer. But hopefully it'll do right. And we'll be okay. Pit Fiend's found someone as well. It's this boy, and he ain't right in the head. He thinks himself a dog. But there's something about that boy that makes me smile. I see him and I tell him what a good boy he is, and give him a little scratch behind his ear, and he is just happy. And I tell him he's a good boy. He goes, best. I say, yes, you the best. Now, maybe everyone doesn't realize why. But that boy, he's special in the head. And by all rights, he should not have survived this long. By all rights. But there's something. There's a shred of humanity that's kept him alive. And that makes me happy. So whenever I see him, I'm going to be happy. Yeah. Sadly, that dog, Someone let him off and he attacked a couple of ours, and they're okay. But I had to go talk to Uncle Boss, and I said, look, this is the sort of thing that can't happen. And I understand in pit fiends, them beating on each other a little bit is a way of being friendly. And I told him specifically, my widget, if that happened to my widget, he'd be dead. That boy, I don't even know how he'd stand upright. I worry that a leaf is going to fall down from a tree and he's just going to collapse. Feel like I should wrap that boy in bubble tape. If I had bubble tape stuff with the poppy bubble tape, bubble wrap, I don't know, I ain't seen it ever. Anyway, it's got little bubbles in the plastic. Protects your stuff. I would just wrap it in it and be okay. I can't lose him. Lost too much. We can't lose him. Now, the other thing is, being part of America 2.0 is we're going to have a new mayor. We have to have an elected official. That's part of being democracy, part of being America. But all the faction heads, we've decided that we can rotate through that position, hopefully. That way, they just run a council. We're going to have a council, just like the Junkers have a council. Everyone has equal say in it. But ain't no one person better than any other. If one person is acting mayor that year, they will just be like the council chair, lead meetings and stuff. So I reckon that'll work really nicely, and I'm hoping that stays the way it should be. Sadly, we've lost a lot of our council members in the Junkers, so we'll be appointing some new people for our council. And everyone gets a vote in the Junkers as to who they want. They'll get 2 votes because we have 2 positions open. I'm hoping for Widget and Featherback. Widget, he's got brains like ain't nobody else. He's so smart. And people look to him. They really do. And I think he'll do really good in that position. And Featherback, he has got a tactical mind like you just would not believe. And that is becoming as rare as hen's teeth right now. And I also am going to have to announce my new 2IC. And I reckon there's only one person that can do it. And that's Hess. I'm really protective of Hess, and I've stopped from putting him in too high of positions before. But I think it's time. Ain't nobody know it, but Hess remind me of my little brother. I lost him a really long time ago. And he was so sweet and smart. They don't sound anything alike. And they don't look too much alike. But I reckon they have the same sort of soul. Things he says, things he does. Remind me of my brother. Anyway, he can build stuff. He actually was head of the family Children of the Junk that take all our junk and make it into better junk. He's gone out into the wastes. He's newly married, so he's got the responsibility there. He said he ain't going in the waste anymore, and I need my second command to be in town where it's slightly safer. Not like Ivan going out and getting killed in the waste. We have to have the 2 of us strong. And I know that if something happens to me, and over the next day it could, we got Steel Legion coming, I know that he can keep the Junkers together. Junkers are bigger than one person. Junkers shouldn't be me. Junkers should be all of us. But I'll tell him in the morning. The other thing that a lot of folk are mad about is the restaurant. They're charging us for our own food. We give them the food, and then they charge us. Now, that's the mayor's way, and it ain't right. And that man, he's smarmy. Ain't nobody like him. So that's going to be dealt with in the morning. They have a lot of bullets they've been collecting. We need those bullets to protect our town. So, as 8-Ball, leader of militia, say, rent is due. and maybe we'll change it around. Everybody puts in food. Hopefully we'll have enough food from crops soon. And folks that can pay, put in their bullet. That'll go towards helping maintain fences and stuff. It'll be our town treasury. And folks who can't pay can work in the kitchens, and that's how we get people to cook the food. And also we've got all these refugees that are happy to work for food as well. So I think we got a lot of options for very affordable labor once we get actual food. That's it. Today was a very long, horrible day. And I don't think I can sleep. But I gotta try. Now, if this is the last video you see, who's gonna watch it? Anyway, this might be the last one. I don't know if I'll live through tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see.